Mahli. What sort of a win's that, mate? What does that mean to yourself and the club?
Absolutely incredible. It's still very raw. Hasn't probably set in yet what we've just achieved, but just super fortunate to get that win. That was incredible.
Have you bowled many better spells than that? You hit 145. Steve Smith, pretty special.
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely the pinnacle so far. There was immense support from the crowd there. The energy was incredible, and as I said, I'm so grateful to get the win.
What was your plan to Smith, and is that how you envisaged maybe getting him?
We saw how little sort of inside he was going of that short ball, and how fine he was trying to hit that. So I was pretty fortunate to have AT in my corner there. He just said, I think short ball, fourth or fifth stump is a real weapon here, the way he's setting up. And then was just lucky enough to execute it somewhat decently, and obviously have AT's experience in my corner, and worked out quite well in the end.
What were you thinking at the halfway mark with 147 on the board? What was the bowling team thinking?
It was a really mixed opinion on what was going on. Bison came in after the first over and said he thought the wicket was pretty good. And then AT came in at the back end after getting out and said thought it was really up and down and quite sort of thatchy and stoppy. So the last 3 wickets we thought we've been pretty hard to read, and you never really know what's a good score and what's not. But as I said, just grateful to get the win at the end there.
Just going back to when you got Smith out, what goes through your mind in that very moment, knowing that that's a massive moment in the match?
A few things. It was sort of hard to take the emotion out of it, I think, and obviously that's someone that I've grown up idolising and how incredible he's been at an international level for so long. So it was a bit of a pinch me moment. Sort of had to try and take the emotion away from it and just focus on bowling good balls to him and trying to execute. But once we got that wicket, we knew that was a huge wicket, but I had plenty of batting to come. So it was sort of about just putting our head down and trying to finish the job as quick as possible.
And did you have a bit of a chainsaw celebration earlier in the match?
I don't know what's going on there. It just sort of all flows. The emotion, there's nothing planned there. Just what comes out, comes out.
You're roughing up batters all season. Do you sort of see yourself as a bit of an enforcer in the attack?
I think, it just depends on what the role is that's needed. If I can run in fast and try and bowl quick, I think that's always a privilege. But if AT comes to me and said that we think we need slower balls into the deck, whatever that is, I think that's what I'm trying to build my game around, and just sort of be as adjustable and adaptable as possible.
What's been the difference for you this year? You're obviously a starter now. There's no Beardman, there's no tie, and you've got to step up. What's been the change?
I think that's been the change, to be honest. I think Dorf and AJ leaving, it's been a very young group, it's a very fresh group, it's a different look for what the Perth Scorchers usually is. But as I said, I think we've got great depth. Obviously, Richo coming back into the side is a massive bonus, the likes of Ingo as well. And then we've got plenty of support on the sidelines as a bowling unit as well. We've got Lance who's still in around, Matt Kelly, we've still got plenty of experience there. So as a young bowler, I'm just super fortunate to have some incredible cricketers in my corner and some good advice.
They were discussing on the broadcast how it looks like effortless speed, what you're able to do. Does it feel like that for you? Were you in a good rhythm, or are you just running?
No, definitely not effortless. I felt every single ball there, but I think that's what rhythm is. If you can sort of float in and not force it and just let it come, then that's when you're going to bowl your fastest. I think if you go searching for pace, it's not something that comes naturally. It has to be a really fine line between charging in and wanting to snap at the crease, but then also just letting it flow naturally, and what happens, happens.
This being a tricky wicket to read, has that been frustrating for the boys through the season? I mean, I think you're 4-2 here now, so you're getting it done, but has it been frustrating given it's a long way off what you kind of expect here?
Not necessarily frustrating, it's been nerve-wracking. There's been some very nervous boys in the change rooms watching. Even that chase the other night, you never really feel settled on a wicket like that. But I mean, it is what it is. I think that's the beauty of this group so far, is how well we've been able to adapt, and I think that's what separated us as a group and a unit from other groups, is being able to adapt quickly. And whatever that wicket looks like, whatever the conditions are, being able to read that, and then the experience of the senior boys being able to come in and adapting.
Is it a bit old school Scorchers? You've got this stacked top 7, but you keep getting it done with the ball. You haven't scored more than 153 here. Will the bowlers get it done?
153 here at the moment feels like 200, I think. So it just depends, as I said, on the wicket. I think if we were looking then and you said 160, 155 in the end, we would have been super happy with that. Obviously fell a little bit short of that mark, but I think, the scores that have been posted are a reflection upon the pitch, not necessarily a poor batting performance. I think everything's in perspective.
Do you get a lot of confidence out of the way that you've won different ways? You've won batting first in the last couple of weeks, you won chasing it a few days ago, and you've won picking a spinner, you've won not picking a spinner, low totals here, big totals away. Does that give you a boost that kind of whatever you're faced with in the final, the boys are up for?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's been the biggest positive and asset of this group so far, is that regardless of what the conditions are, regardless of what the opposition is, we've been able to adapt first and be able to adjust quickly. And we've sort of prided ourselves upon that in the last few games, being able to go out there and, regardless of what the wicket is, regardless of what the conditions are, put out a strong brand of cricket and get it done.
Aussie squad yesterday, today. It's been a good couple of days for you. Do you feel like you've been in that squad a couple of times? Do you feel closer than ever to that international cap?
Yeah, I think so. I've been, again, very lucky that that's an incredibly welcoming and warm group. So I've been super fortunate there. I've been able to spend a little bit of time, obviously, with the ODI squad and the T20 squad. And if that comes, then that obviously would be an incredible achievement, but it's not something I'm going to go searching for. I think when it's ready, it'll happen.
Do you remember watching Cooper in that BBL 12 final and thinking it'd be cool to do something similar on the final stage?
Absolutely. If I could hold a bat, then that would be very similar. That would be awesome. But yeah, if we can emulate something sort of similar with the ball, then that would be absolutely unbelievable. And obviously, we saw how the crowd was and the celebrations were after that, so that's something that we're looking for.
Club looking for your sixth BBL title. Nice being able to do it at home and win straight through.
Yeah, that'd be incredible. I think travelling has been awesome for us this year, to be honest. I feel like we've posted some massive scores away and been able to defend quite well. But as I said, I think this group adapts amazingly, and whatever that wicket looks like coming up, I know that we'll play some solid cricket on it.
You've got a couple of days wrapping up after this year. How much is that fueling you? Is it getting talked about?
No, not really. I think we're just focusing on. I'm trying to focus on what I'm doing at the moment and just trying to play some consistent cricket, trying to stay on the park. To be honest, I've had some injury runs that haven't been ideal, so I'm just really enjoying playing some consistent cricket. And if that means getting selected for things or not, then it doesn't matter. I'm just trying to play some consistent cricket.
Mahli, what is it about this group that makes it so successful? You're now going to host a sixth home final in Big Bash. What is it about just this team in general?
I think it's a mixture of things. It's a really broad sort of casting of things. I think if you look at each group, it's been quite different each year. And as I said, I think that we pride ourselves on adapting and being able to adjust quickly and change quickly. And I think that's what we've done. I think that's a credit to the coach and to the coaching staff, and then to the captains and the senior players. It's been amazing what they've been able to do, and sort of how quickly they've been able to read conditions and adjust. And obviously, Dorf coming off the back of an unbelievable year, and AJ having prolonged success, it would never be easy to let them go. But that's well above my pay grade. But that sort of decision making and just the senior boys and what they've been able to sort of make and sort of push amongst the group, I think is what has allowed prolonged success.
Pretty hot when the game started. Pretty happy when you were put in and able to sit in the shed for a little while.
Absolutely, went straight into the aircon and grabbed a cold bottle of water, so that was a great result.